QST, QST, QST. It's February 21st, 2024. It's time for the Creek County Fusion Net. This is N2EUS Barry. I will be the net control operator for the Creek County Net. This is a directed net, and as such, all traffic should be directed through net control. This net meets every Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and anybody out of the time zones, whatever is current for you. All licensed amateur radio operators are invited to participate and encouraged to check in. This is N2EUS Barry, net control for the Creek County Fusion Net. I will take a pause to let things reset. I will begin with taking check-ins. I would appreciate your call phonetically, your name, your location, and whether you are a base, mobile, or portable. And if you have any traffic information, good jokes, weather reports, or anything else that might be pertinent for the net. And because KI5EGH has started this on the net, we will have three portions of the net. Check-in, communications, and then a 73 or lightning round. If you can stay, it would be appreciated. If not, thank you for checking in at all. So I will begin taking check-ins now. Please come. Well, it could be a very quiet night. As I tell a lot of people, when I get up in the morning, I look in the mirror, I can see my lips moving. I usually can't tell which one is the ventriloquist and which one is the dummy. Is there anyone that would like to check into the net? Please come now.
This is Kilo Delta 2, Yankee Bravo X-Ray, Tom, in South Central New York with no traffic.
Yeah, this is KA3EQU, Kilo Alpha 3, Echo Quebec Uniform. Checking in, no traffic. I think we'll be in and out this evening.
That acknowledges KD2YBX Tom and KA3EQU me. Thank you much for yesterday. Enjoyed lunch immensely till we get the chance to meet again. And thank you for checking in. I did have an early check-in of JA1WLQ Massa. As usual, I'm not sure whether he had to go to breakfast or whether he had another doctor's appointment, but whichever, we'll see what happens. I'd like to take a pause, and I'm pausing for WA3RA. WA3RA. Bill, if you're available down in Pennsylvania, please come in now. Over, over. Not hearing anything. I went back and checked real quick and my past notes, and I do believe that he said he might miss this net tonight due to where they were traveling to. So this is N2EOS looking for additional check-ins. Anyone wishing to check into the Creek County Fusion Net, please come now.
Kilo Golf 5 Zulu Zulu Victor Mark in Tulsa base and streaming, Barry.
Well, thank you very much, Mark. I started to reply to your text, and I looked down and saw what time it was, because I was going to tell you I was going to go in and gargle just to make sure that I sounded halfway decent on the streaming. And I did go downstairs and grab a life jacket, just in case it was warranted. So, Mark, thank you very much for checking in. After the net, I will be sending you some pictures of where I got to with my A3S, and we're getting real close to being able to get a rotor put on it. So thank you much. Is there anyone else that would like to check in to the Creek County Fusion Net? Please do so now.
This is Alpha Charlie 3 Kilo Echo, Paul in Cyril, Pennsylvania.
AC3KE, Paul, well, thank you very much. Just in case she's sitting across the table, I did put down N3RXU Vicky just on the off chance that she wanted to check in. But if not, I have plenty of ink in my magic marker and I can cross her out. So thank you very much. I'm looking for additional check-ins. Additional check-ins for the Creek County Net. Please come now. Well, that does bring us to the bottom of the list. I had a fairly busy day today, as usual. Worked on getting the setup arranged so that I can put that A3S on the back of my Jeep or off the tripod I have sitting out front up about 15 to 16 feet with a rotor that will function. I may have underestimated the amount of sway I will have. Once it's all locked in place, it's not a problem, but I may have to get a thrust bearing or something and mount it near the top and put the rotor down at the bottom and turn the whole mast and so on like that. But we will give it a try and see how things go. So on that note, go up to KD2, YVX. Tom, how are things going with you? Over?
Good evening, Barry, and good evening to all the people that checked in tonight. Glad to hear a good group, and not too much to report here, but my weather station is down, my batteries have gone to failure, and we're going to try and replace them tomorrow. So there's no weather report tomorrow, or tonight, but we're going to try and remedy that. And I hope you get your Jeep straightened out there, Barry. And that's about all I have to add to tonight's net. And this is KD2 YBX 73s, everybody. Have a good week.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate it. I thought I was going to scoot down today. I did wash my Jeep for the first time. It glistened like a black diamond. Then I made the mistake of driving home, run up and down my driveway once over to my son, then come back and ran up my driveway again, and it doesn't look like I washed it at all. As I say, I dislike the color black for that reason, and we'll see how things go in the future. Somebody said I should just put the mud on it to begin with, and maybe it was you, Tom, and see what happens with that. So thank you much for checking in. Do appreciate it. KA3EQU Mead said he was in and out, but Mead, are you definitely in and out? You still available? I'll take silence that you're gone. So over to you, Mead, if you're still there.
Well, KA3EQ. Yeah, we're down here in the shack. We're just doing some things there, and yeah, we'll jump back in here for a couple of minutes. Nice to have have lunch with you as well, Barry. I'm glad when we can get together like that, and we kind of solve the world's problems, and, well, if not the world's problems, at least the problems with amateur radio. And but it was a good time, no question about it there. Hey, suggestion to you, it might be a little more work, but if you can put that rotor at the base rather than up on the pole there, if you can put that rotor on the base, that's not an overly heavy antenna. You're going to need a thrust bearing, though. You're going to need that if you're going to do the base rotor. But I've always liked that type of thing myself. It just makes it a whole lot easier if you run into a problem or need to work on it. And also, too, when it comes to assembling it, when you go to a remote site or something like that, it makes it a whole lot easier. One person can kind of do it. But I'm sure you'll figure something out. KA3EQU back to that.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I kind of looked at that after I played with the mast. I put it up and down 2 or 3 times today without the rotor or the antenna on it, and I just have to finish. I'm going to be using a remote control rotor winch to erect it, so it's not so much of a problem putting it up with that, but I want to make sure it's stable enough from the time it leaves the ground till it gets up in the air. And if I'm confident of that, then I'll do it once with the rotor on top to see what occurs, and if not, then I'll have time to change it, because it's going to go on my tripod out front till the weather gets warmer, and then we get to go play POTA. But thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. And I'm going to move down to KG5ZZ Victor. Mark, thank you for the notification, and I love the fact what you're doing playing with the streaming. Over to you, Mark.
Into EUS and the net. This is KG5ZZV. Yeah, Barry, thanks. It's a learning experience. I'm trying to determine right now whether I tripped over a wire and killed my video, or the RF from the radio transmitting did it. But I'm back now. So, always learning.
Well, I enjoy the fact in talking with you, with the interaction you have with your musical ability, also your amateur radio, the fact that you like playing with the Jeeps and POTA and stuff like that. So you're a very versatile, well-rounded person, and I'm very pleased to say that I know you. And I love picking your brain with different things. I know that's difficult sometimes, but believe me, I do appreciate it. So anything further? Over.
No, Barry, I think that's it for me. I guess I'll go back to being a stream producer for now. I just wanted to drop in here and say hello, and thanks for running the net. So you have a good night. Everybody else, thanks again for checking into the net. This is KG5ZZV back to net control.
Well, thank you very much, Mark. That takes me down to AC3KE, Paul. Very good to see you over the weekend. I know you enjoyed it, and all I got is positive comments from everybody, although I do wish that Elliot had been up there to fill my shoes, because it was an experience making coffee, because I'm not a coffee drinker. And fortunately, I called Elliot, and he just told me what to do, so I got the coffee started and going from there. But over to you, Paul, and to EUS.
Okay, into EUS and the net, AC3KE. Vicki and I have noticed sometime, when we're trying to check in, since we're on the round top machine, there can be a little bit of lag, and often somebody on the other side beats us in. So Vicky tried to call in.
Oh, wow.
Then she gave me the mic and said, "You do it."
Okay.
Yeah, but it's all good. Get in there eventually. Not too much else to share here. I enjoyed this weekend too, and thanks for doing that. I think everybody learned quite a bit, with that exercise. And just as a not very serious thought, I've got a fake Altair 8800, which might be interesting to see if I could load WinLink on. It's running CPM right now, so I don't find the odds very high. But it would be be curious. Anyways, back to the net. AC3KE and N3RXU at the side.
Well, thank you very much, and I hope that she's sitting upright, not on her side. Or are you telling me she fell out of her chair again? Hi. But, I had fun playing a good part of the afternoon today, somewhat yesterday over at my son's, and Monday over at my son's, and pretty well got most of what I needed welded up, holes drilled, holes tapped, screws put in, and clip pins put in where they had to go. I'm really excited about it, but I need to do a little bit more about mounting my 2,500-pound winch in the back of my Jeep. But I've got to raise the back pole I have on it up a little higher so I have a little bit better angle for picking it up. And I can pretty well do the whole thing by myself, believe it or not. But it's much easier having a second person to ensure that you don't crunch things as that goes. And Vicky, I did put you down, and I thank you for always being in the background. I'm just wondering, do you have a writing crop that you tapped him lightly with to make him speak? Hi. And on that note, I will I'll pause just in case N3RXU wanted to comment. If not, I'm soliciting additional check-in. Over to you, Vicky, if you wish to speak.
This is N3RXU. No, I don't have a writing crop, but I got a big stick. That works too. It's all good. Hello to everybody. Not much new going on here either.
The old crochet hook.
Yeah, the old crochet hook going. I got baby blankets I got to get done. Back to you, Barry.
Thank you for chiming in. And I don't know about the walk softly and carry a big stick. Sometimes it just needs to prod somebody a little bit. Hi. But I don't think Paul needs too much prodding to talk on the radio. So thank you much. And I'm looking forward to the possibility that we may be doing something if we get enough people interested. We won't do as much with the food as we did, but the worldwide CQ DX competition is coming up in the beginning of March. And Meade and I talked about it yesterday, and Chris, KC2HSU, said he and his dad might come down from Utica if we had 3 or 4 other people that wanted to play. At worst, we could probably get some hot dogs or hamburgers or something like that. It's not going to go to the extent that we have with our regular field day, which is coming up the last full weekend in June, so we'll see how that goes too. This is N2EUS soliciting additional check-ins for the Wednesday night Creek County Net. If you'd like to check in, please come now.
N2EUS W3JU, Joe, driving through Endwell, New York right now.
W3JU. Excellent to hear you, Joe. I do miss the little short conversations we have as you travel point to point, which you seem to do a lot of. At least you get where you're going, or maybe where you're coming from. Hi, hi. So anyhow, you're the bottom of the list. Over to you, Joe. How has things been going? Over.
Very okay, good. Well, this is W3JU, and yeah, it's been okay. You know, I could moan a lot about all the medical issues going on in the family, but I'm just not going to do that because there's a lot of blessings too. So, haven't had much time for the radio, but I have been calling out as I'm driving, Barry. We're just not synced up, I guess. I do try to call out listening, and I always appreciate it when you come back to me or Ford or anybody else for that matter. But my mother-in-law's leukemia cancer is a little bit better under control right now. She's feeling better, finally healing up from COVID. Took her about 8 weeks to get rid of most of the effects. Still has a cough that's lingering. And anyway, I decided I wasn't going to talk much about all that stuff, but we're doing fine. Just got out of bluegrass band practice and headed home. We got a few concerts coming up, so we're looking forward to that. And I'll turn it back to you into the U.S. This is W3JU.
Well, thanks to, you mentioned the bluegrass, thanks to KG5ZZ Victor's Mark out in Oklahoma's interest in music, audio, and so on. He's been, the last couple nights, he's not going to do it for every one of them, but he's been streaming it. If you go to, on YouTube, and you can go to KG5ZZ Victor, and I would imagine this time it's under Creek County Fusion Net, you can hear yourself speak if you have time to listen to the whole thing. Alpha 7TJ did that last week, and he said that's the first time, and George is in his 80s, he said, I ever heard myself talk on HF. So Mark has pleasantly surprised us with his abilities to interface something. It's an experiment more than anything else, but he certainly enjoys experimenting with different facets of his life. So back over to you for a moment, Joe. Over.
Okay, Barry, thanks. Yes, listening to my own voice is somewhere near the bottom of my bucket list, I think. Way down at the bottom. But anyway, there's another net that I sometimes participate in down in West Virginia, and that is also streamed online, so that is interesting. But okay, nice talking to you, Barry, into EUS and the net from W3JU on the way home.
Way to go, Joe. And thank you much. Ever since I totaled my vehicle Christmas Eve, I have not had a vehicle with a radio in it. I just got another Jeep, a used one, last week, and it's taken me a little bit to get things put back in it and so on. And I'm hoping over the weekend to perhaps get a radio put back in it. We'll see how things go here. As life goes on, as they say, if you have a problem with lemons, make lemonade and make the best of it. But anyways, as far as your family, our prayers are certainly with you, and hopefully everybody heals the best they can. This is N2EOS looking for additional check-in for the Creek County Fusion Net. Please come now.
Hey, to me.
KE2ME and to EUS Barry. I feel like a dentist. I'm pulling people out of the woodwork one at a time. We are in the conversation mode of the net at this point, so the microphone is yours. How has your day gone? Over.
Yeah, I gotta get out in about half a minute, but
I just turned it on and I heard you in here, so I figured I'd check in. That's a good repeater, so good talk to you guys. And 73, gotta get out. I'm hungry. This is K2ME.
Well, one thing I learned a long time ago, whether you like it or not, it's amazing how well peanut butter and jelly with some good Italian bread is when you have nothing else. But sounds like you must be close to a refrigerator or someplace you can get the food you want. So thank you for checking in. Real quick, anything further? Over?
Oh, but peanut butter and jelly is excellent.
I'm with you 100%. I picked up a jar the other day in the grocery store, and a lady came over and she said, "Can you tell me where the fluffernutter is?" I said, "Yeah, it's in the jar over there." She started laughing. She said, "Well, I couldn't find it." And I says, "Well, let me lead you right over to it, and don't forget to get the peanut butter too." And she says, "Well, I have plenty of that. My grandson comes over and he loves peanut butter, the fluffernutters, and going from there." So thank you very much. And I will see if there's anyone else who would like to check into the Wednesday night Creek County Fusion Net. Please come now. Well, that brings us down to the bottom of the list. I'm pleased to have the number of people that did check in. We'll go to the lightning round now, or 73 round. KD2, YBX, Tom. Anything further? Any comments? Over.
Not too much there, Barry. Thanks for hosting the net tonight. Glad to hear from everybody. And we hope to get our weather station back up and running tomorrow with new batteries. Because right now it's gone to failure. So with that, I'll turn it back to net control. This is Kilo Delta 2, Yankee Bravo X-Ray. Back to you, Barry.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. The weather station up at Harris Hill, H3, kind of dislodged itself from our internet. Chris from Utica was down with his family yesterday, and he did reset it, got it back on the air, but by 6 o'clock last night, for some reason, it was off the air again. You can go up to the house, as I did today. It was still reading everything, it just wasn't communicating with our server, so we'll have to take a look at it here shortly. So thank you very much, Tom. Appreciate you checking in. On the off chance that he's still available, because it is early before the net at 50.26 meter net, KA3EQU. Anything further? Over. Well, I guess not. He did say he was in and out, so I appreciate his couple of comments there. KG5, ZZ Victor, Mark, are you still among us? Over. Well, he's probably trying to straighten out the streaming. Fortunately, I don't have to worry about it, because if we did, with my vision or lack of it, it might be a long time. About the only streaming I could do is go out back and jump in the little stream that's going by me, as long as I have my life vest on. So that takes me back to Paul, AC3KE. Paul, anything further? Over for the 73 round?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot else. Today was just pretty boring day. Yeah, went to work early this morning, came back, ate supper, and got on the net. So I don't have a whole lot to talk about. But good to see everybody, and 7-3s, AC3KE.
Well, thank you very much, Paul. And Vicki knows I dare ask, but if she doesn't answer, I understand why, because she has her hands full of baby wool. N3RXU, Vicki, over to you, maybe?
This is N3RXU. Yeah, I can drop it pretty fast. Just looked it up. Today is National Sticky Bun Day, so everybody get out your sticky buns. It's tonight for it. Other than that, nothing here. N3RXU.
Well, thank you. There's a possibility that Rachel went back to New Jersey, so I wouldn't be getting the National Day, but that's a honey of a suggestion with the National Sticky Bun. And you might have trouble talking on the radio if you got one of those absolutely luscious, large sticky buns with all the extra icing on the top. But thank you for bringing that up, and thank you for responding to my call. Let me put you in a spot real quick. Anything further? Over.
Well, that's about all for me. Thanks, and have a good night, everybody. N3RXU.
Thank you, Vicki. I always enjoy talking with you. That takes me back to W3JU. Joe, if he's still available for 73. If not, if he's reached his destination, he won't respond. Joe, over to you.
Hey, Barry, the timing's just perfect. Just about a mile from the house, so thank you for hosting tonight, and I wish you the best of health this week, and we'll catch you on the radio again driving around somewhere, I hope. As I drive, I'll give a shout out now and then. Hope to catch you on, or Ford, or somebody. So, back to net control. Thank you, Barry. 73s, everybody. This is W3JU. I'll be clear.
Thank you very much, Joe. Well, I'm hoping I can get a radio back in. I'm looking to try and order something from Anvil Overland, because I now have a Jeep Gladiator Mojave, and what I wanted to order for my Jeep Gladiator Willys will fit into this also, and I can mount the heads of the radios, the speakers, and the microphones pretty much up where you can reach them without blocking the view out the window. So if I can get somebody from there to talk to me other than an email, I'll purchase what they offer. But if not, then I may wind up building something myself. So, Joe, thank you very much. I always love talking with you. And if things work out, I may get down to see your son sometime in the next 3 or 4 months, because I'm going to have to see somebody. And on that note, I don't know if Bob's still available, but KE2ME, we're in our 73 round. If you have any further comments, even if you're eating. If not, I'll catch you the next time around. Over to you, Bob, if you're there. Well, hearing nothing tonight. As I said, JA1WLQ Masa-san from Tokyo, Japan, checked in earlier. I have had 9 check-ins, and I'm looking for any additional check-ins. If there are any additional check-ins, please come now. If not, I'm getting ready to close the net. This is N2EUS. awaiting patiently for additional check-ins.
November 2, Oscar Juliet Mike, just got home.
Well, thank you very much, Elliot. Knowing how busy you were over there, it looked like you had a great night. I got to take a picture of the spaghetti for you next time and give it to you so you can change the logo on the texts and emails you send out, because I had a couple of people want to know where the meatballs were. And I said, what do you mean? He said, there's meatballs that are sent out for spaghetti. And he says, well, as Albert pointed out, if you read down farther, it's spaghetti with meat sauce, which is very good. I totally enjoyed it tonight. But I think it would make sure we're not falsely advertising the meatballs high. But anyhow, I'm hoping you had as good a turnout as it looked like you had. And I always enjoy the spaghetti. So N2OJM, we're in the lightning round. Other than tonight for dinner, how did things go today for you? Over.
Well, it was busy and different things that were going on, and yeah, we had a good night tonight. We were short about 4 people, so as it started out, I was a one-man wrecking crew out in the kitchen when it came to dishes, and finally got some help as we got 3/4 of the way into it. But anyway, just finished up with the pots and pans and everything like that, cleaned the kitchen up, and I'm home, and I figure I better check in, because if I sit down, I'm afraid I'm going to fall asleep. So I'm going to let you go, and we'll catch up with you later. Thank you for being a patron tonight and enjoying our spaghetti. It looks like we had a good night, even though we were short-handed on the help side. Talk to you later. Thank you, N2OJM.
Well, thank you very much. As I say, I enjoy the Mason's meals immensely, especially when Albert does a lot of the cooking. But I know you have other people that do too, and I've had no real complaints on the food other than the situation with the weather trying to get there sometime. So thank you much. I'll put out another call for anyone wishing to check in to the Creek County Fusion Net. If you'd like to check in, please do so now. Well, thank you all very much for checking in. There is a net at 9 o'clock on 50.2 6-meter net. I do believe they will be running it tonight. It has not been open out of our area very much this year, but I'm hoping that things will change as we get into the summer a little bit more, and we can go from there. Looking forward to having fun with POTA, and I'm hoping to get the setup that I want to be able to operate off the back of my Jeep Mojave. I can get the A3S mounted off the back of it once I get the winch installed, because I don't know, it's not heavy, it's more bulky than anything and awkward. So with 14-foot main boom, and the widest element is 27 feet. Next one down about 26.9 or something like that, and then of course the director. With the winch, it's not a problem pulling it up, and if I can lock it in, I'll be in good shape. So, thank you all. Any further comments from anybody whatsoever before I close the net? Please come now. Well, one last thing. Sunday night, unless things change, at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, the Southern Tier Fusion Net will be on with KA3EQU, barring something coming up that he can't do it, then you'll be stuck with me again. But I enjoy doing it. I enjoy everybody checking in. And I like keeping the open lines between New York and Oklahoma open, and, of course, El Paso, Texas, California, Pennsylvania, and, of course, Tokyo, Japan. So this is N2EUS Barry. I will bring the net to a close. Thank you all for checking in, and appreciate what N9RIM has done to ensure the integrity of our system. This is N2EUS. Good night, all, and to all, till I meet again. Over.